So thank you very much for those of you that have joined us today from both my staff, our faculty member with us, and I believe one of our students is with us as well. We would like to welcome you to the Halmos College of Arts and Sciences virtual open house for our fantastic master's degree with our digital media composition and rhetoric department. So I would like to first introduce the dean of our college. Thank you, Farah. Ms. Farah Umrah, I will introduce her in just a moment. She is going to be controlling for us today. So this is the dean of our college. This is Dean Holly Baumgartner, Dr. Holly Baumgartner. I apologize. She does like to welcome all of our students to the Halmos College of Arts and Sciences and the Guy Harvey Oceanographic Research Center. The college is NSU's intellectual and cultural foundation, firmly anchoring the university in the liberal arts and sciences necessary for the 21st century workforce on into graduate school. We engage you in cutting-edge selection of majors and minors built on innovative models and relevant technologies we will hear a lot about today for our department that we do have with us. So as I mentioned, I'll be introducing my staff. So with me today is Mr. Theodore Uwe, who you will be speaking with at a certain point if you have any further questions about application process, along with Ms. Farah Amro, who is always available to help as well. Now, with our graduate degree offerings that we do have here at the university, we do have the Master of Arts, as I mentioned, in Composition Rhetoric and Digital Media that we will be discussing in detail today, as well as a variety of other master's degrees, a National Security International Relations, Biological Sciences, and Marine Sciences, as well as a Conflict Analysis and Resolution Studies, and a brand new Medicinal Chemistry degree. We also have a Master of Professional Sciences in Environmental Science, a Doctor of Philosophy in Conflict Analysis and Resolution Studies, and a PhD in Oceanography and Marine Biology. And with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Farah Amro, who will take you guys the rest of the way. Thank you, those of you here once again attending, and keep an eye out for future things down the road. We do have a section of question and answers for you at the end if you do have them. Please feel free to write them in the chat when the time has come. Thank you very much for being here, and Teddy, do you mind trying to step in real quick while we try and figure out Farah's mic at the moment?
Yeah, of course. Sorry about that. Can everyone hear me all right? Do I sound like a robot? All right. So I can't give the same explanation as Farah, but what we're seeing here on screen, of course, you're going to get to learn and hear from Dr. Juliet Kitchens, who's our our Director of Graduate Studies with the MA in Composition, Rhetoric, and Digital Media. But you'll actually get to learn about quite a few other individuals like Shanti Bruce. She's our department chair for our larger department for communication, media, and the arts. And Carrie Corson gets to work in tandem with them on many different aspects of the program and just with much more of the daily students. Very much so. I'm sure Dr. Kitchens will be sure to reinforce this. You know, they're super happy to talk with any of you guys if you have questions later on. That's why you're going to see some of that contact info here on this slide. And of course, we can say the same too with our admissions team. So I can't wait to hear from you guys. If you want to keep going, Fair.
Thanks, Teddy. I appreciate the introduction. While Farah is, thank you, Farah. I am Dr. Juliet Kitchens. I'm the director of the Masters in Composition, Rhetoric, and Digital Media here at NOVA. Just to give you a little information, sort of a foundation of our program, it is a 30 credit program. We do have a 12 credit core that includes research methods, a theories class, multimodality, and a rhetorical criticism course. And then we have a wide variety of electives to choose from. There are electives that speak to interests in publishing and professional writing, in interests in digital media production and content creation, interests in teaching and sort of engaging professional writing spaces. And then we have, sort of rounding out the program, 3 different completion projects. So depending on your interest in the program, you may choose to pursue a professional portfolio, which would include 2 semesters or 6 credits of media internship. And if you're thinking that you are interested in sort of a longer project, then you could perhaps consider the thesis. And then we also have students that opt for our completion exam. The completion exam is an on-site exam. It's sort of culminating. It involves content from our core courses as well as select elective courses. Um, but the program really is about 1 to 2 years, depending on the speed with which you want to sort of move through courses. Courses are 8 weeks or term length, so you can conceivably get through this program in about 3 semesters. So for those of you in the audience who may be interested in obtaining a master's at sort of a rapid or accelerated pace, that might be an option for you to consider. And to sort of determine that, I would recommend that sooner rather than later, you meet with me, talk to me, and we can sort of map out your progress through the program. So one of the more unique elements of our program is that we partner with a few different production spaces and education spaces on campus. Many of our students work in the Writing and Communication Center or in Mako Media. So Mako Media is a network of television, news, and radio production here at Nova, and it is housed in the Department of Communication, Media, and the Arts, DCMA. So it works very closely with our CRDM students. The Writing and Communication Center also is home to many of our CRDM students, including Melissa, who you'll be hearing from in just a few moments. Many of our students, our graduate students, are graduate coordinators in the WCC, and they have opportunities to develop content, to educate tutors and educate faculty. They have the opportunity to work in classrooms with faculty and students, as well as tutoring and developing various kinds of digital content for the space. So I'm going to talk just a few moments about our program versatility. We are a diverse curriculum. We have a diverse curriculum, and that means that what we're really trying to do is pair the theoretical with the practical as much as possible. We are a maker program, so we're very production oriented. Many master's programs, when you think of a master's program, you might think you're going to be writing a whole lot of like 20-page papers and doing a lot of sort of secondary research. Our students engage in primary research and actively create public-facing content throughout the majority of our course offerings. So what that really means is that we are consistently directed and goal-oriented toward your career and potential professional paths. So everything that we do, we try to make market or industry applicable. So it could be applicable towards an education career or toward a social media campaign management career. But the important thing is that you're getting hands-on experience, you're getting opportunities to work with faculty with a range of interest and expertise. And we also prioritize using sort of cutting edge software and equipment. We do have a deep well of various camera equipment, recording equipment, studio spaces. We have sort of more unique pieces of equipment to learn how to engage in meaningful ways and spaces in digital media and in classroom environments. And then the fourth thing that I want to mention sort of brings me to, which is alumni, brings me to the point of community. CRDM centers its community in the learning experience. So we are a small program so that we can be very focused on each student individually, get to know you, get to know your goals, and really help you network and ready yourself for the next step. We recognize that we are merely one step in your career path. And so we want to be a very successful place for you to build out your skills and develop a community that you can then rely on and lean into when you're in your profession. And now I'll turn it over to Melissa so you can hear a little bit from one of our students about our program.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Melissa, and I'm currently in my 5th semester at the CRDM program. Wow, time's really passing by fast. So Dr. Kitchens talked a little bit about the Writing Center. I'm one of those graduate assistant coordinators who works at the Writing Center. And we're all about community there as well. So it's really nice to kind of go to class and you see like your coworkers there as well, which is you just see them all the time. I'm currently doing my completion project, actually. I'm doing the first 3 credits of the internship. And I learned a lot of the stuff that I'm focusing on through CRDM. So a lot of that theory that Dr. Kitchens talked about before, it really kind of translates pretty well to the practical skills. Some of the classes that kind of include those practical skills, especially if you're interested in that like digital media aspect, editing, layout, and design is a great class. I took an AI class over the summer. One of my favorite classes. It was just 6 professors, 7 students, and we were all just kind of learning about different platforms and their hindrances and their benefits. And I also took a social media class, which also kind of helped me do my social media internship currently. So it's a really great program that kind of gives you a community of coworkers in the Writing Center if you choose to go in the Writing Center, and community in class, and you have the same professors, which is really nice. It's really great, and you get to kind of go into a class knowing already who you're working with, and it has been a great experience so far.
Thanks, Melissa. So I'm going to turn it over to Teddy now so that he can talk to you a little bit about the application requirements and process.
Absolutely. Now, to keep in mind, as you're interested in applying for the program here, we're having 2 entry terms. We're looking at fall and summertime. Generally speaking, when we're looking at our application deadlines, we do try and keep those to the Friday of the work week. So you guys, of course, have that preceding time during to get any remaining items. If you're having any issues whatsoever with this process, please reach out to us so that we can help you out. The first portion of your application is going to be a general NSU application. That's going to have some of your biographic, demographic information, kind of more general information about you as a student. Now, once you've submitted that general application, it's really more the first portion. It's not the complete application itself. So we just want to make sure that we're not getting that confused. When you pay that $50, then what happens is you will then be able to send out recommendation requests. So those 2 letters of recommendation that we require, we ideally are going to want to come from an academic source, like say past professor, maybe a program advisor, anything like that. If you're bringing in professional letters of recommendation, we just would recommend for those individuals to, of course, try and better understand what that letter is being used for. You know, sometimes we get a more general letter. It'd be like, Jake's a really great hard worker at Outback Steakhouse. We love him a lot, but it doesn't, give us exactly what we're looking for in terms of insight into you, say in the academic setting or just as a student in general. So, they can talk about you, anything, traits, characteristics, stories, anything that could then be more applicable over, say, in an academic setting, right? So maybe you're super organized, time-orientated, really great schedule management skills. That's things that we would love to hear about from said individuals. You're also going to be submitting a admissions essay, a little bit personal statement between 500 to 1,000 words, and you'll get that prompt within the application itself, as well as an academic writing sample. That writing sample should show your capabilities as a writer. So please do take some time out to really choose what you would like to submit for that portion. The program office will be taking a look at that in particular, as that is a very core aspect of this program. Now, we are looking at an undergraduate 2.85 GPA in order to apply. If you have any issues with that, or if you want to discuss the details of, say, coursework that you've taught, I'd be happy to, get you in contact with Dr. Kitchens just to take a look at that. Say if you had any misgivings about, say, certain coursework that should be having under your belt coming into the program, or just anything more in regards to transcripts. On that note, so we typically require transcripts from all institutions where you received college credit from. Now, depending on if it's just like a singular class and it's not directly relatable to the program, it may not be necessary. So for instance, maybe you took like a Japanese course at a community college. May not be exactly necessary, but general rule of thumb, we were going to require, separate transcripts from each individual institution. So for anyone that, say, has come and stayed here as an alumni of the university, you can actually do what are called internal transcript requests, which are completely free. Otherwise, what typically you must do is request your institution's register office to send those transcripts directly over to us. We can accept those directly over email. And when I say us, I'm actually more referencing the university. We do not receive those transcripts. If you send them to us, they're going to count as unofficial, just to clarify that. But then the other way you can do this, we do have approved third-party vendors such as Parchment, which is pretty common for a lot of different institutions to use, or even like, say, the National Student Clearinghouse. If you want to go to the next slide, Farah. Now, I wanted to take you guys through what you're typically going to see once you come in and create an application account with us. There's a few different things we just want to make sure that you're getting right off the bat. Some of this is going to entail, of course, that general contact information that you'll see on your account overview, which is listed on screen here. If you're getting any sort of technical issues, I typically actually want you to reach out to the admissions office first, just so that we can kind of field what that issue is more so. In some cases, it could just be a really rather more specific issue that IT just has to fix for us, or maybe you got locked out of your account. In some instances, we can fix that too. Any sort of information that you see, like regarding to personal information, if it's not accurate, please do contact us immediately so we can get that updated. We do use your application count as our way to then communicate with you over phone or email primarily, but we do also have the ability to set up virtual meetings if you'd like to meet on Zoom later on at any point as well. Next slide. So for the first portion of the application is generally going to be split between biographical and contact information. A lot of this is more straightforward. So first name, last name, date of birth, any sort of affiliation with the university, things of that nature. First and foremost, we do recommend you use a personal email over a student email to create your application account. That's just because of the fact that we're going to be utilizing that email to contact you, communicate you with any sort of updates about the application. And if you graduate out from your current institution and lose access to that, then you may lose access to some of that pertinent information. Likewise, then, when we're looking at the program and additional information, this is just more about double checking you have selected the right terms. So again, we are enrolling students for the MA program for the fall and summer terms only. You should not be able to choose winter as a term. I know for some programs we do offer that, but just want to clarify that as well. And in any event, if things do change and say, fall is not a good time for you to apply, or maybe again later on summer, we can defer your application up to a year from the original entry term. On prior college information, so for those of you who have not completed your bachelor's degree yet, we are going to need one additional copy of those transcripts later on, say when you are admitted. But for those of you that are completing your bachelor's degree still, you must be in your final semester of your degree program, meaning that for those of you that are seniors, are going to be graduating in the springtime. As soon as this fall's grades get posted to your account, you can then submit those transcripts for the review process. Keeping in mind, again, that it has to be your register or one of those approved third-party vendors. If we receive it from you directly as a student, still going to be considered an unofficial copy. Now, if you have taken any college credit outside of the U.S. or you've attended more long-term a non-U.S. institution, we do require said coursework to be evaluated for U.S. equivalency. And that has to be done through an organization that's a part of what's called the National Association of Credential Evaluation Services, or NACES for short. There is a listing of active members online. If you need the website link, feel free to reach out to us. Many of those different organizations are going to have different verbiage for their services, but what you'd essentially be looking for is what's called a comprehensive evaluation. That must include a course-by-course analysis with the U.S. grade equivalent, along with your cumulative GPA, and must state if and when a degree was conferred and from where. Now, towards the bottom of the section, once you get to the end of your application, you have your disclosures, the certifications, and signature areas. This is essentially where you'd go to pay that $50 fee. Now, I am happy to say that for those of you that do get to attend our open house here, we will be extending a waiver code to you later on. So please be on the lookout in your email for that. But once you go ahead and either pay the $50 fee, and mind you, it is a non-refundable fee. So if you have already paid that $50, we cannot refund it for you, and we can't give you credit for it, say, with the waiver. So it's if you have any questions about checking like the information before or after submitting the application, again, reach out to us. But then what you'll see here on screen would be then the secondary portion. So this is where you're going to be able to track or directly upload certain items for your supplemental items. So you're going to things like personal statement and your writing sample. You're going to be able to directly upload those here in the secondary tab. Whereas for items like your letters of recommendation and your college transcripts, the top window is just going to be more for status uptake. You'll be able to see if the, say, letters of recommendation have been received and that form has been opened, and then say when it's submitted back and completed, and then for just transcripts, when those have been completed. If you get any sort of communication, say from your register office or from your third-party vendor for sending those transcripts that they have been received by a university and you're not seeing it on your application here, please reach out to us. Could just simply be an issue of what we consider an orphan document, where the transcripts were received, but they are maybe missing some personal identification data that then makes it so that we have to wait before we can sort through that information and then add it to your account. Pretty easily done. Again, just reach out to us in those. And just as a general reminder, then here you're seeing the application deadlines for our upcoming terms that you may apply for. So for the next term for summer 2025, you're looking at April 18th, which is again a Friday. And then for more of those, I know looking towards the fall semester, you're looking at July 18th, which again is also a Friday. Now you've gotten to meet, of course, many different parts of our team. In fact, I'm sure many of you actually got to know Megan Choi the best and communications about the program initially. Now she is on personal leave right now, so every one of us else that you're seeing here on screen are more than happy to assist with you. Myself and Farah are usually the ones that you'll get to talk to, but Brett as well. Most of the time, if you actually call into our general lines, which you're seeing on the bottom of the site here, you'll actually get Andrew there over on the far right. He's an alumni of the university himself, so depending on your question, could be able to answer it directly him. Otherwise, of course, he'll point you over to one of us. And of course, we'd love to have you guys follow us on social media. We do post many of these recordings, like these open houses, one on our YouTube page. And then if we get different really great clips too, we like to share that on social media. And I'm sure Dr. Kitchens has plenty that she likes to share on social media. Do you have anywhere where they could follow you too?
Yes, if you look for the Department of Communication, Media, and the Arts, or DCMA, in any of these social spaces, you will be led toward information about CRDM, as well as our undergraduate programs, events in the arts, and yeah.
Wonderful. And I think with that, we can open the floor to questions. So there is a Q&A portion. If you would prefer to speak, we are able to give you the ability to, let you speak, but otherwise feel free to put it in the chat. Well, I'll kick it off with at least one general question. I know I've gotten quite a bit, actually, Dr. Kitchens. Do you have any preference at all when it comes at least to the length of, say, the academic writing sample? If they've gotten, say, like a longer project, like such as a senior thesis that they had defended or something of that nature, do you prefer to have, like, say, a sample of that, or would you rather they submit like the entire thing?
So it's really up to the student during the application process how much you want to give us. I would say that you want to aim for at least something that's like 5 to 7 pages with some references so that we can see you engaging a particular format or style, as well as get a sense of your ability to sort of hold an argument or an analysis for a length of time. That said, we've had writing samples that were upwards of 15, 17 pages, and that's also acceptable. But I would say you don't want to go any lower than about 5 pages. I know a question that I get asked a lot is, what are the funding opportunities for students coming into the program? And I will say that we do have funding and sort of scholarship-based positions in the WCC. And then we also have assistantships with work study and things of that nature in Mako Media and throughout the department. We also work to place our CRDM students across the university campus doing various kinds of communication work. So we do try to align your interests with the kinds of assistantships that are available. There are also some scholarships available through Halmos, our sort of the college that we are part of. And but most of those are going to apply to your second semester or sort of beyond.
And I would add also to that, I'm happy we actually got a new web page added onto the scholarships page too, where you can see just a couple of different associated like tuition discount opportunities we have with the university. And they're more informational pages, I would clarify as well, but they do directly link out to where you can find more specific information regarding any of those. I did see one question come into the Q&A here. They're asking for international students. What is the longest time the program can take if a student is doing an internship and not the thesis?
So generally, our international students try to complete the program within 5 to 6 semesters. Um, I would say you really want to aim for 5, even with a thesis or an internship. You do have about five semesters before you have to really start to lobby for more time and get an extension.
Any other questions? And if you guys think of any other ones anyways, feel free, of course, we have our phone number, general line for the admissions office, and we can always put you in contact with the program office, 954-262-8066, as well as our general email at hcasadmissions@nova.edu. Otherwise, I would say thank you all so much for joining us here today. We'll be posting this in our YouTube later on, and we will send everyone the recording link as well. Hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks so much for joining us.